Hey people, I'm sitting in the parking lot of my chiropractor. I don't know if you guys can see it all, not really. Awesome people in Rogers. We love them as friends and we are clients of theirs. But waiting for Chris and Abigail. They're getting an adjustment. Do you go to the chiropractor? We do love chiropractors. It's funny when we meet people who don't even consider using them because it's just been a part of our life forever. Chris was in a car accident in college and, well, our parents, we just grew up going to chiropractors. So it's what we do. But I'm alone and I thought I'd go live because it's been a long time. Hello. So how are you people? How's it going? We are having a great fall. We had freezing cold weather and now it's back up to like 82, 83. So it feels like a heat wave. I feel bad for areas having hurricanes and flooding and all kinds of crazy things. And it's like summer and beautiful here, sunshiny and amazing. And I'm so glad because when it was like 52, I was like, oh no, here we go. We're going towards the snow. I wasn't quite ready. So we got the warm weather back. I wanted to talk today about a very, very important topic and something very close to my heart. And that is why your personality and your wiring, knowing those things, why it matters. I have been doing a lot of coaching lately, and I completely tailor the coaching to my clients based on how they're wired. Because if you don't know your natural personality, your natural wiring, you may be trying to convince yourself to do something because you think you should, to do something because everyone else is doing it, to do something because it's been advised. But if it is against how God made you, you will be up for a steep climb, my friends. You may find yourself very down and depressed. You may find yourself shaming yourself. What is wrong with me? Why can't I make myself do this? Why aren't I more disciplined? You may feel like shutting down your business because the advice that you are given is not tailored to how you were made. So let's talk about this a little bit. So I am a personality profile junkie. I have loved them ever since high school. I don't know what the class was called. It was like an ethics class or something, but this teacher went all over the place and I don't even know. But he first introduced, what is the name of it? It would have been the choleric, sanguine, melancholy, phlegmatic test. I can't think of what that was called. So that feels like long ago history. Does anybody remember that? And that was the first time that it was a photocopied piece of paper. It was a huge circle and you would do dots on the words that, like, I think it was like closer to the center if it represented you and further out if it didn't. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? It was this huge wheel. And that day I discovered that I was very split on both choleric and melancholy. And that stuck with me like forever. And then it evolved later into learning about Myers-Briggs. I've learned about Enneagram, Strength Finders, Kolbe. I love them all. So I'm definitely like, I don't know, it's like a hobby of mine to learn about these things. But what's been so cool is it's affected how I've parented my children, how I've homeschooled my children, and how I've related and trained my staff. And then it's also, of course, bled over into how I do business coaching. Because when you know your natural strengths and your wiring, and you go towards that, it's going to be a lot easier versus going against what you're good at. Like it honestly doesn't make sense, but we do it a lot. And we think, okay, just because I'm good at one thing, like the arts, music, I'm creative, I've got endless ideas, I'm a good creative writer, we almost dismiss it because we're like, yeah, but I suck at math. So I'm going to sit down and I'm going to work on algebra even though I don't freaking care. Right? And we make ourselves work on our weaknesses. We do this in our businesses too. We dismiss what comes very easily and naturally to us, and people can be in awe of what we're doing. And we're like, yeah. I got to work on this though, because spreadsheets and Excel formulas and getting my SEO right and fixing the broken links on my website, that's where I suck at. And you end up, your face drains of color because your energy is drained. You start shaming yourself, like, what is wrong with me? Why can't I do this? And you may get the message from other people, it's time to buckle down. It's time to get serious. You need to stop all those ideas that you're getting all the time. Focus on one thing. Okay, that is a very dangerous message for creative people, my friends. If you are creative, you should not be told to buckle down and think on one thing. You will go into depression. And I've been there. Now, I get it from a business coaching perspective. We do need to make sure you're making money. Okay? That's why you have a business. So we need to have very clear prices and packaging. We need to make sure that you have a growth plan in phase 1, 2, and 3, which is what I was talking to some of my clients about this week. Knowing which phase you're in, and then how are we going to get to the next phase. I really like the book Profit First. You need to be paying yourself. But to tell a creative, visionary person to settle down, stop having ideas, and to just focus is not going to work. Okay? So we need to approach this differently. And what I like to say is have all your ideas, know where to put them. Okay? Have notebooks, use Trello, brain dump them, then decide by sometimes experimenting which one are you going to choose first, because we can't do all of our ideas at once, but we can't stop the ideas. Okay, if you're like me, like I come up with 5 new ideas every day in the shower. And now I've learned to come to Chris and say, okay, undeveloped idea, and I'll throw it out, because just processing it out loud helps me even go, you know what, never mind. But I have to say it out loud. Now he realizes that I need to do this. And I think a warning label on your spouses who are more logical, saying undeveloped idea, I just need to process, gives them the heads up that this is not something for them to go implement. It's just an idea. Okay, so having really great safe landing spaces. So do you have a circle of friends, colleagues that you can bounce ideas off of and process with? Because that's really important. And then knowing I'm the type of person that needs to process out loud. I'm the type of person that comes up with 5 new ideas a day, versus I'm the type of person that is more detailed and loyal, and I'm going to stick with the one thing that I've committed to. It's very important, right? Can you see how different that would be? So depending on how you run your business. I tend to coach creatives, artists, writers, musicians, theater people, tutors, midwives, people that are more fly by the seat of their pants, do it as fast as possible, find shortcuts. Those are my people. They tend to jump in quickly. They will take risk. They will see a good opportunity and run with it. They're passionate. These tend to be my clients. And so these types of people, we come up with lots of ideas. So what are you doing with your ideas? Where can you put them? And then knowing and having accountability and structure using a to-do list. I like Todoist.com. And being able to keep on track, right? So this is one of the downfalls. So we creative people tend to not be on track all the time. So just knowing that about ourselves, we can put up guardrails. So I talked in my blog this week about a playpen, and I sent a little video about that. Do you have a playpen? Do you have enough structure that allows you to be who you need to be on the inside? And for creatives, that is very, very important to have some structure. Chris is sending me funny memes. I don't even know. I'm obviously not going to look at it because I'm live with you guys. He's in the chiropractor and I just get this text from him. So it's very important to know how you're wired, because especially, oh, he's coming. I got to get off, you guys, I think. I wonder if they're going to figure out that I'm live. We'll see what happens here. So having some structure to be creative. Abigail's like, I'm not going in there if she's live. I can tell that she's like, I'm not going in there. I'm live. He said, I know. Okay, come on in, Chris. Abigail, hide. I'm live. Say hello, Chris.
Hi.
I told him that you just sent me a funny text. I didn't really see it. I was like, Chris is sending me funny texts. Talking about creatives and what they need and why it's important to know your personality. Do you have anything to add? Just kidding. I know you don't know what I said.
Not at all.
Okay, but I was telling them that I need to process ideas and that I have 5 new ideas a day, basically.
That's it? Just 5?
No, in the shower.
Oh, yeah. Before I wake up.
Exactly. Poor guy. Okay, so, but has it helped you that I will often say now, like, I'll give you a warning, like,
yes.
Undeveloped idea.
Yes.
Yes, why is that helpful to you?
So that I don't try to see if the idea will work and try to fix it before we actually do it.
I think I said that to you this morning. I was like, this doesn't need to be fixed yet.
You did,
Didn't
I believe, yes.
But I also want to compliment you on who you are. So I said, I want you to refine it and we'll work out the kinks. And I know that you will find the potential pitfalls. So that's me affirming your strengths. We instantly got more people watching now that you're on. They love you the most. They're like, oh, Chris is on, we'll watch.
Chris is here. It's time to watch.
Awesome. So, yeah, so I think it's important to know how you're wired for what you need, right? Because in that exact situation, you knew not to run with it.
Correct.
But I had to give you the warning. But then I can appreciate you by saying, I do really want you to poke holes in this. So is that one of your favorite things that I say?
I'm pleading the fifth on this one.
So sometimes I'll be like, okay, now I'm ready. I want you to poke holes in it. Because I do want you to tell me what could be better. So I think knowing how we're wired is so important because then we can go in. I think there's a lot of miscommunications that happen when you don't know how you're wired or your partner doesn't know how you're wired or you don't know how your partner is wired because then we don't change languages. So I really do think it's a language thing. So I was telling them how obsessed I am with different assessments, and I love researching all the different...
might be too light.
Really?
Yeah, obsessed is
I'm just
low.
learning about them. I just like learning about them. But it really does help when I'm relating and coaching, because then once I know how you're wired, I can help you.
Okay.
Yeah, it does. So that's how I'm justifying my obsession. You don't really like those types of things.
I'm not a fan.
Do you think that's your personality? Or just a Chris Hickle thing?
It's who I am that makes me go, whatever. Yeah. I mean, it helps me to understand people, but I don't really
You just don't care.
I don't really care.
That's cool. So some people don't care. That's fine. Maybe, it could have something to do with your wiring and it could not. So I'm curious, people, talk back to me here. Do you do personality assessments? Do you like them or do you hate them? And we've been talking about Enneagram a little bit. Kind of the conversation in the world has been, are we gonna be late somewhere? Are we okay? Okay, cool. So we're gonna keep talking. Enneagram has been kind of a hot topic, but I would say that's not so much a business thing. My favorite assessment for business is definitely Kolbe, KOLBE.com. Take the assessment A. That will tell you how you're wired. You'll get all the results. You'll be like, oh my gosh, because it's really long, but go through and read each page, or she even reads it to you. So there's like an audio version. That, the day I took the Kolbe for the first time, it also tells you, okay, I'm jumping around. See how my thoughts jump around? Like I interrupt myself. So the day I took the Kolbe for the first time really freed me up because it will tell you avoid the stress of blank. So that day it said, Jen, avoid the stress of anything mechanical and anything like building physical models. I was like, oh my gosh, this is why I have been stressed with trying to figure out, because at that house, the oven rack was really rare. Do you remember the Corcoran?
Yes.
It was, right? Please validate that, because when I tell this story, they think she's really challenged. But it was seriously weird, though.
It's a combination of the two. It wasn't...
Hey, okay, I'm not going to let you talk on this if you're not nice.
Well, but you just said to avoid the stress of it, so it's obviously not a strength of yours.
It's not. So I was always frustrated with the oven thing, and I just quit doing it. I was like, hey, can somebody help me? And then the bike rack. You were never around, and that was extremely difficult for me to put the bike rack on the back of the van, and put the bikes up. It was heavy and complicated, and there were many children.
There were many children.
That was awful. So avoid the stress of. So it's very important to know. And it also, okay, see, I keep interrupting myself. Okay. It's important to know what stresses you out and to avoid it. And then it also went on to say, Jen, you like to be pressure prompted. Jen, you like to explore new ideas. Jen, you like to, what is it? Something about I can't remember the exact words that she uses, but it was really, really helpful. So let me know. No one's talking to me. Either that or I can't see comments. I don't know. I see who's watching, but I don't see comments. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I'd like to know your feedback, people, if knowing your personality has helped you in business. But I also, Chris, I really think some marriages could be saved with knowing this stuff.
I'm pretty sure they could.
I really do. I'm almost confident that, like, just even knowing Kolbe or Myers-Briggs could really help. Do you think that counselors use personality tests?
I don't know, but they should.
They should.
Well,
Because
especially if you're working together.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
The Kolbe test is wildly important.
it is. So if you're working with a spouse, make sure you and your spouse take Kolbe. But heck, start a file and do them all. Do them all. Put all your assessments in. Line them up side by side. Investigate this stuff. Ask me to interpret. I can interpret your scores. It's my favorite thing. But especially next to, like, your spouse. Like, I'll tell you, wow, this is why you're stressed out about this, because we compare and contrast. And then you can move on to doing it for your entire staff. So I have entire files on all my staff members, and it so helps. It's made such a difference. It's really revolutionized who I hire and then my whole team and how we work better together. Do you agree, Chris?
Absolutely. Can I say something embarrassing about you?
Oh, no. What?
You not only have files on me and our staff, you have files on all your friends as well. It's only when they've told you. You're not just, like, guessing people's numbers.
No. If they tell me their number, I just throw it in Evernote. And then what's creepy is why he's saying this is because we'll be out to dinner and they'll be like, I can't remember my Myers-Briggs. And I'm like, just a minute, I have it. And I go
That's
search for it.
Wildly creepy.
But if they tell me, I'm going to write it down. So if you've told me and now it's changed, you better update me. So I can update my files. Oh, it's good times. All right, I'd love to hear your comments if you like personality profiles and if you're creepy like me and keep track. I haven't met anyone else quite like that. All right, you guys, have a great night. We're going to go to dance and theater, right, Abigail? Yeah, she's tired. You feeling any better after the chiropractor, though?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, see you guys later. Bye.